What's good, everyone? Welcome back to My First Kicks. This is episode 162, and this week I bring you a brand new kick talk with two guests, not one, just two, and I bring to y'all my guests, AD Sneaks and JSM 801. Say what up, guys.
What up?
Teaching us about these balloons, John. That's these hand signs. It's crazy.
iPhone FaceTime hacks.
No, it works on Instagram too.
That's wild.
Like, we love you. We love you. We love you guys. We love you guys.
Hopefully this doesn't get my podcast taken down. They'd be like, "Oh, you're using copyrighted hand signs on YouTube or something like that."
This is sign language. It can't copyright sign
No,
language.
but when you do this and then the thing comes out, then the hearts come out. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's public.
Then they're gonna be like, "All right, Apple's like, nah, get them out of here."
Just shrink it up a little bit. Just cut me out. All right. Okay, let's get into it.
But what's good? Thank you guys for jumping back on. I mean, we're here to do the non-traditional format of the podcast. And I wanted to talk to y'all about a couple of things you guys are working on. But first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And it's not John beefing with people on TikTok.
What are you talking about, bro?
Let's talk about the Bred fours, and that I'm gonna keep calling them Bred fours.
Not a Bred 4.
Let me go get some popcorn real quick. Hold on.
Well, you got your pair too? Oh, you distressed that?
I got my pair. I just don't want to go get. Did you stress that?
You distressed it.
It's got a little bit of. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a color in the midsole now, and I figured I got a couple pairs, so I might as well just kind of play with one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Black Cement. If you're gonna call this anything, it's the playoff. Would be the playoff for. Don't be lazy. Call everything Bred.
What do you call them, Andy?
What do I call them? I call them whatever the person who I'm talking to calls them, so I don't piss anybody off. But personally, they are Black Cement 4s for me, not Breds.
Yeah. That's because Andy knows what he's talking about.
If someone's calling them Breds, I'll just roll with it. I'm not going to be that guy. But, excuse me. Let me push my glasses up. This is a
I don't have no
Black
glasses to
Cement
push
4
up. I just kindly correct them. I just kindly correct them and tell them to read the box labels where it clearly states cement.
Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to look at the box right now. And it says Bred 4.
You got them from China, bro.
Now let's talk about the real white elephant in the room. We think Haas's are fake.
Yeah, I got them off from a WhatsApp chat.
The thing is like, what are you gonna call this then? Like, what do you like? Why would you keep this white cement if you're not gonna keep this black cement?
I feel like it's because, like, I get what you're saying.
There's no lighter breakdown,
but the gray on the shoe is called the cement, but there isn't any cement print on it. So the white cement is mostly.
Well, this isn't cement anyway. This is elephant print.
Yeah, but we call it cement print though.
No, we don't. No, who calls it? I never heard anyone call that cement.
We call it cement elephant print.
No, they don't. who you been hanging out with? You got some bad influences in your life.
No, we call it elephant print, but to me, it's just like I get what you're.
Here's your cement is all the gray, and this has more gray on it than this does.
Yeah,
like you have this whole gray mid, on the sole, mid of the midsole or the outsole. You have all this gray here. You have a gray sock liner. You have all this white. Got all this gray.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I mean, I would say the same reason they call the Black Cement 3s the Black Cement 3s. Right? Like it's kind of the same deal.
Same term.
If you call it Bred, I ain't gonna shun you.
Oh, check this out, guys! My new Bred 6s. My Bred 6s, guys.
Bred 6s.
Bred 6s. I will slap somebody.
I will say that I definitely think it's like a city thing, because in the city, anything black and red, it doesn't matter what the other color is. It was just straight Bred. Like you would just call it Bred. And I get what you're saying about being lazy about things, you know, but at the same time, it's like it did make sense. It wasn't like for a perfect example, right? The AE ones, the white and black colorway that recently came out, calling it Stormtrooper. They can't call it Stormtrooper, but we can call it Stormtrooper. Right. So it's like that. Yeah. They're gonna call it whatever shoe that the colorway actually is, pearlescent white or whatever, right? And
it's slang. People say what they want. Like if it has black on it, even if it ain't a Jordan, people call stuff that are black and red Bred. Like it's even if it's not a Jordan.
I just honestly think like if I was gonna call the Black Cement 4 a Bred, it would be the 2019 release because Nike called it the Bred at that point. The first pair that was released in 1989 was a playoff because that's why he wore it in the playoff. The first retro Black Cement, I get it, but like on the Jordan 1, the Chicago and the band colorway, like to me it's just home and away. Home and away, or it's Chicago and band. It's one or the other. Like if you want to get technical, the band one didn't come until 2011 with the X on the back. But like the Chicago's to me, the ones, they're just home and aways. Like home jersey, away jersey. It's that easy.
I mean, it makes sense, you know, like that's the era where signature shoes were just the color of the team. Like we weren't getting crazy colors, you know.
Right.
But
yeah, it'll always be a Black Cement to me. But honestly, once I joined TikTok and watched enough videos, I gave up.
That's why I don't do TikTok much anymore, bro.
I mean, you said what happened? I saw your recent post. You said you were going to be like, I'm going to be posting more pictures. Yeah.
I'm all about pissing everybody off.
I think
I'm there to argue with them in your comments. Like I'll argue in your comments. I ain't gonna argue in my comments.
Speaking of which, you know, I don't see a lot of it, but you guys definitely see a lot of hate towards your content or like people pulling up and being like, you don't appreciate this stuff and stuff like that. But, you know, I've always appreciated your guys' work, and every time you guys post, I always hit you with the like. Don't get me take it down. But what has it been like now? Because especially, you know, AD, you blew up after your last appearance on here. That was my first Kicks bump. I'll take the credit for that one.
That was the credit.
now that you made the show, you're famous now.
But yeah, what's it been like for you?
I mean, it is what it is. I try not to get too much into the comments because there's always people that are chirping, you know, saying stuff, and most people I just assume that they got nothing better to do with their time, or they're just looking for all them hearts next to their comment. You know, that's how they feel they need to get their clout because they can't get it any other way. So, you know, I don't usually engage with those kind of people, and when I do, it's just a one reply and done reply. Like, just move on with my day.
No, yeah, you gotta. I've never been in like that realm of in my head where I can openly dislike somebody for no reason, really. Yeah. Where I want to comment and be like, "Oh yeah, you're trash," or like, I mean, the biggest one that we went and we talked about it as that post where somebody said, "You don't appreciate sneaker culture or sneakers," and I was like, "People are bugging."
Yeah, that's craziness. That's craziness.
People are weird, man. Like even when I did my top 5 sneakers of last year, people were like, "Oh, you're such a hipster. Like you're just trying to be different." It's like, no, I just have my taste, and that's my taste. And I'm not going to pick the same sneakers that everybody picks just because that's what everybody picks. Like, say what you want, but I know what my taste is.
And what about you, John? JSM almost went government on that one.
I go government. You go government. I don't mind my government name. I kind of deal. Here's the thing. I'm going to shoot this 100 and be a buck about this. Let's be a buck about this. The person that you get on, you get me when I'm on Instagram is a different dude than you get me on Facebook, and which is a different dude that you get on TikTok. It's almost like TikTok is like my alter ego, the guy that you don't want to invite to a party, the guy you don't want hanging out around your kids because he's got the worst mouth. Like that's the guy you get on TikTok because I feel like that's that space. They created that monster in me because it's such a toxic app. It's so toxic. Instagram, me and Andy have had this talk, you know, in private about how we address the chirping. If you look at just my page, I've been pretty blessed. I mean, I don't have a huge following. Andy's got 200,000 plus following. You know, I'm at like 40 something.
I mean, that's still a lot, though. I'm over here with 700.
I mean, it is a lot. I mean, it's taken me a while to get there. I mean, my last page was like 250, but like now, I feel like my growth has come so slow and so organic that people just that follow me because they like my work. So I don't have a lot of people chiming in on some dumb shit. But when I'm with Andy, when I team up with Andy and I have to do like a collab post,
oh boy, it gets spicy.
That's when all the chirping comes in. And that's where me and Andy, I'm either one of two ways. I'm either a guy that'll just shoot, kill, like first comment, end it, or I'm the guy that like tries to change your mind. You know, a guy says something bad about my shoe, like, hey man, like this is why it was designed this way. It wasn't designed for you personally. If you can't appreciate the work, if you don't like the custom as a whole, at least you can appreciate the work that was done. And, you know, I can't please everyone. I hit him with that. And then a lot of them flip around and be like, oh man, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting to get shot, you know, back at and an argument. And I don't give them an argument on Instagram. I just, hey, it's just, hey man, sorry, I let you down. You know, this was for so-and-so. It was this reason for a specific reason. And sorry, you didn't like it. And that, and I usually leave it at that. And you can ask Andy, I flipped a lot of guys that came at me and gave him a full 180 just by replying, hey man, you know, I try my best at everything I do. A lot of the stuff I do isn't my taste. I have to make money. You know, I don't think honestly I'd be doing a lot of Travis stuff. I wouldn't be doing as much Off-White stuff if I had other stuff that was selling $60,000 worth of custom in a month. You know what I mean? Them are my number one sellers, but I do enjoy them customs. That's why I feel like a lot of them have done so well, especially like my Off-White on the coconut milks and the shadows, you know, the OG shadows, is because I would wear them myself. So I wanted them. So I don't get a lot of hate, but there's people that chime in like, oh, you copied so-and-so, or you did this so-and-so. Well, my whole reply is just, who did it better?
Yeah. Because
sorry, I'm not that guy where I'm going to go kiss ass at the local store to get a pair early just so I can make a custom out of it. That's not me. Like, I'm not going to pay $200 over retail to get the shoe early so I can make it first, because I don't care who did it first. I care who did it best.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys compare me to like Chef and all these other dudes. And I say, put my picture up to his picture and zoom in on all the stitching. Zoom in who did it. Like, I'm not trying to be the best. I just want to be the best version of me and do the best work that I can and make it as cool as possible and having fun and feed my family in the meantime. So if you want to compare me to someone, at least compare me to someone and pull up the photos. Don't just ride him and then just hate on me because you think that I'm copying him. It's just, hey, we have similar tastes, but I feel like my work's a little bit better. My work can always be better. You know, ask Andy, since we've met, I've redone the shoe I did for him 3 or 4 times since we met.
The black low?
Yeah, I've redone it three times.
What size are you? Send me the scraps.
But no, like my whole thing is I just want people to do what I do. Like, if you have any itch to even try painting, I'm the guy that says, hey man, get off the fence, buy some paint, let's do it. Like, I got no problem with someone being better than me. I've never wanted to be the best. I want to be in the mouth of the kid that comes up in the game in 10 years and be like, yo, JSM taught me that 10, 15 years ago. Like, that's what I want. I want to be in the dude's ear that makes the next greatest custom. That's it.
I mean, that's influential, being influential. You know, I look, the one thing I learned, especially starting this podcast, is I'm too competitive. All right. I'm going to be straight up with y'all. You know, some people have called me out in terms of just like, I don't listen to their stuff, or I don't give good criticism on their stuff, or like I don't comment on their stuff. And it's hard for me to comment on something that's in the same space as me, because I treat it all as like competition. Nah, yeah, we all are vying for the same ears, in my opinion. You know? Yeah. And you know, doing custom, like the huge, what was it? I want to say like 2016, 17 is the huge like customizer boom, where it felt like everybody was customizing or repainting shoes, or, you know, what's the word?
Restores.
There you go.
Yeah. Everyone's restoring sneakers. Yeah.
And so, like, you stay, like, the one thing and that you got to commend, especially, you know, you, Andy, as well, where it's like, you know where you know what's you, And then
Yeah.
when you see everybody else get that, like, oh, this is the love that I should get, you know, or something like that, you know, like, it's like, you don't make a post about that, or like, I'm the same way, where I'm like, I don't, like, I'll be like, I'll share whatever, like, I'll share my people's stuff. But, and then even if it's like, I feel like it's competition or whatever, you know, like other podcasts, but I'll still be like, go listen to that. I'm not going to listen. It's like, if for example, you'd be like, yo, I mess with this customizer, but I'm not going to be like, yo, my man, customize this for me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Right.
No, I
like,
get it.
yeah.
Like, that competition for me, I'm a very competitive person.
Yeah.
I can be a very argumentative person too, which I actually hate about myself. I hate that I have that. I don't know why I have that. I think it's just because I grew up around a lot of women.
We also heard the story of you and what was it? You and Deron Williams in the
no. Oh, with Darren Williams, with Darren Williams.
Yeah, I call him Deron. My bad. Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook, with Westbrook. Like, I'm a very competitive person. I mean, just by trait, right? I mean, I played football growing up. I wanted to go pro. I played baseball. I played street hockey. I mean, I played all the sports. So I feel like that was just kind of my realm, was a physical guy. I came from a rough area. So fighting was like a big thing in my neighborhood. And so, yeah, like, I grew up wanting to do that. I was very competitive, but yeah, I just, it's hard for me when it comes to other customizers. I think I just take kind of an easy route out. I don't have to compete with you, but if you need anything, let me know. Like, it's that easy for me because I have access. Whether I can help you with technique, if you're better than me, at least I can help someone else see you. Like, I was always handing out Angelus's, info to get people, to try to help people get on the sponsored list. Because there was guys out here, like my boy Ami out in the UK. There was a bunch of girls that I brought to Angelus that I thought their talent was amazing, you know? So I would just send my guy Tyler their info, check them out. And, you know, I would try to help out. Like, I'm not into gatekeeping. I'm just not scared of people being better than me. Like, that's all there is at the end of it. I don't feel like I could ever be the best at this. So I just don't strive to be, you know? I just try to make something cool and something new and try to make it as factory as possible and wearable. And so I'm just constantly just getting better, man. I got a long way to go.
What about you, Andy, with the photography?
No, I think
like, what do you got to get better at? You're perfect. Why are we even talking to Andy? Andy's perfect.
I'm always trying new stuff, man. You know that with the hairspray and with like my editing. I'm always trying new stuff. But the thing about it is, like, I don't know, like, I've seen like what other people's work is like, and I see pictures and stuff on the internet, and, you know, instead of me being like, in the beginning, I was jealous. I was like, man, like, that looks so good. Why are they getting shared? Why is their stuff getting used? Why are they getting work and I'm not? But like, I didn't want to come from that place, because when I was coming from that place, it reflected in the pictures that I was taking. It was like, man, I'm trying to be like this person. I'm trying to be like this person instead of trying to be like me. So instead of doing that, like, I'm just like, nah, like, I'll support these people. I'll support pictures. I'll support, you know, other content creators. And instead of being jealous about the stuff that they're getting, because they're grinding too, they're working hard. I just got to do me. And like, if I just do the best version of me, like, I'm blessed, like, to have the stuff that I have and to be able to have the connections that I have with what I do. Like, I couldn't have predicted this, you know, 5-10 years ago, that I'd be where I'm at now. And it's just, I was looking at it from the wrong lens. And instead of looking at it like, this is fun, this is what I enjoy, I was looking at it in a competitive lens. It's like, oh, I need to get better for this. I need to get better for this. But if I'm having fun doing it, I'll get better as I keep doing it. Because it's just like anything, like, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And I think it shows, like, every time I go to John's studio too, like, man, this guy's like jamming out to music. He's doing his thing. He could care less what other people are doing. He just wants to create.
Don't even worry about what music I'm listening to, though.
No, you listen to the same damn song on repeat for like 3 hours. And I'm just like, hey, yo, you're going to change this
delight
song
on 3 hours to repeat? That's crazy.
Well, I've been listening to Justin Timberlake's new single for like 3 weeks now.
Jeez, he dropped a new single? I didn't even know that.
Oh man, good. His new single is bananas. And I'll just tell you this, look, because everyone asks me why I do that. And it's, if I can find a song that I work well to and I'm productive, why change my mood? Whatever put me in that mood, I keep it around. You know what I mean? So when I'm jamming out to a song and I'm like, man, I just busted that custom out, I'm going to put that on repeat until it's messing up, you know, my headspace. So when I got like Justin Timberlake, like I said, that new single, it just gets me in that right mood to where where I have something to prove, but I'm having fun doing it. And that's the space I love being in, is where I'm competitive on the low, like, oh, this is going to be the best, like whatever. And then at the same time, I'm just having fun doing it. So repeat.
Right. Dude, music, I'm with you there though. Like music kind of does that for you. Like when I'm down here, like we've talked about it too. It's like, what, maybe I should go live while I do some shoots and stuff. It's like, I don't want to include other people in that, because then it's not like that impedes like my personal enjoyment out of it. Like, I create content,
therapy
share
session
it with people for to enjoy. But it's my therapy, dude. Like I don't play video games. I don't watch a lot of TV. When I want to unwind, dude, I go in my basement and take pictures. Like, and I like doing that alone. And with like my headphones on, jamming to like, I'll listen to like
Andy
the same. Dude, it's the
so
Post
unique.
Malone's last album. I repeat that over and over because that's my happy space, man. I don't know what it is. At least it's not one song, but it's the album.
For me, there's one album that gives me that. Like I listen to it and it gets me like in the zone. Like because now I'm getting into, which is what I'm gonna be announcing, and I have announced on another podcast I guested on, but I'm gonna be working on making short video essays about like sneaker culture and like streetwear. And so I've been teasing it like, oh, it's coming, bro. This week has been crazy. So and I'm going to Vegas on Wednesday, so it's not coming out this week. I'm just letting y'all know. But I get
pushed back has been pushed back.
It's been pushed back. I did my first in studio episode on Saturday. Now doing this kick talk with y'all. But like music has been the biggest part of my life besides sneakers when I finally was able to afford them. But there's this one album, and I tell everybody about this album, but it's the album that saved my life in 2020. And because like 2020, pandemic put you in such a hell of a hole. Everybody's isolated, just going crazy, clawing at the walls. But this album came out in 2020. It's done by this artist named Quelle Chris and produced by a producer named Chris Keys, and it's called Innocent Country 2. And it's an album that I listened front to back. It has skits. But dude, I was in such a depressed state that I was just like, I gotta change this. And this album came out and just changed my whole like view of the world at that
perspective
time.
Perspective and everything. Yeah.
Music has power, man. Yeah. Music has a lot of power.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, so with my pandemic, my pandemic was so different than everybody else's pandemic. Like my pandemic was everything opposite of the mental stress, the mental ill, like all that. It was completely different for me. Like I love the pandemic. I was in a house with my wife for over 30 days. Like my kids, cause I caught COVID early. I was like very, very early case. So when I came out publicly about it, I was a little worried, to be honest. Like it was almost like that scene where like Eric Wright, Eazy-E talks about coming out about AIDS.
Yeah.
I heard of people dying during the pandemic, and I heard like people getting sick and you always heard the stories of people getting it, but you never seen it. And then I tested positive.
Wow.
And it was like I just joined some crazy elite club that was like frowned upon by the rest of the world. I felt dirty. Like I felt like something was wrong with me. And I talked to Lynn. I was like, are we going to blog this? Like, are we going to talk about this? And then sure enough, man, I'd come down here in this studio and paint. I couldn't even have a conversation with the camera because I had no air. My lungs felt like they were collapsed. And so we got the kids out of here. We transferred all the kids to grandma's. Everybody got tested and switched over to grandma's house. And me and Linda stayed here, bro. And I painted the whole house. And my house is only 5 years old now. So it was only 3 years old back then. I painted the whole house. Everyone got new beds, upgraded TVs, Apple TVs in every room. Like you know what I mean?
Space? You got space for one more?
Me and my son can fight over the bedroom, but you know what I mean. So it was like cool. It was like when my kids came back, it was 30 days later because my youngest daughter has Down syndrome. So like we were so scared of her catching it because she already has her immune system's already compromised. So we were so worried about that we made sure that we tested completely negative before we brought any of the kids back. And then I was just close with my family, bro. I love my wife. I love, like, a lot of people are like, all we did was fight this and that. Nah, I love my wife. We had a great time. hanging out every single day. Like I enjoyed it. So like sneakers, painting, work was amazing during the pandemic. Like custom sneakers was amazing. People was getting them checks and sending them to me. So it was
Making a
it was my
killing.
best. Dude, that was my first really, and I use the word great because I've had good years, but I've had great years. The last 5 years have been great, but the pandemic was the first great year. Yeah. Like that was like, we was Amazoning every day.
Yeah.
We had to be stuck in this house. We was Amazoning it up every day just to keep our sanity. And so no, I really enjoyed the pandemic. I hate what it caused for the country and what it did to people's families and individual, like their partners, whatever. Like that hurts my heart. But like here inside my house, I had an amazing time. I loved it.
I mean, Andy probably had a totally different experience. He was a teacher during this.
Bro.
Like,
no,
yeah, you know what? We never talked
easy.
about that. Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, dude. Teaching was actually was pretty easy because like a lot of teachers were scrambling and panicking during that time because most of them like they didn't have any of their their teaching content online. I've had my stuff like on this Canvas. If you go to school or whatever, you use Canvas to do your homework and stuff. I've had my courses on Canvas for like 3 years before COVID. So it was like, oh, we're going online, all this stuff. I just had to make a few quick modifications, so that kids could access it and turn it. Oh, I was prepared, dude, and it was easy.
And you're just a cool cat in general. Like you're cool, you're calm. You never really panic. You never really see any panic.
It wasn't a super stressful thing. And like my family, we got COVID too. And, we again hunkered down, did our thing. But like, again, sad for, stuff that happened outside of my home during that time. But inside my house, I mean, that's where I started doing what I'm doing with sneakers. Because like I love photography. I was big into photography, like going places, being outside, doing that stuff. But with COVID, like you couldn't go places. So it's like, man, I had an itch to use my camera. I had a bunch of shoes in my basement that I collected. I was like, I'm going to start taking pictures of my shoes. And that's where it started for me.
That's sick.
That's fire.
So,
I can't believe we've never talked about this before, Andy.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't either. Like, it's weird. It's because we talk about everything, but
everything.
Like, you got to get me in this circle. How am I not in this circle?
I mean,
I see this guy like in person like once a week at least. So
it's more. It's at least once a week.
I got to come and visit y'all. I'm gonna come and visit
out to Utah, bro.
No doubt. We hoop it up. We hoop it up at least one day a week. I'll tell you this. Like, I've always expressed to Andy how much I really appreciate him. Because I don't think people really get like how much I appreciate Andy.
He's about to cry. We about to see.
No, it's just
there's gonna be like you were doing like all the things. There's gonna be like clouds with rain coming out now. Like.
No, like the thing is like I've lost a lot of people close to me in my life, very short age. So I appreciate people when they step into a space where Andy is. Andy's in a space where I would consider him family. And so, man, when like this dude, if this dude needed a mascot, it would be me. Like this dude is so freaking good. I wish I could swear right now, but I know like we don't want to beep anything. But this dude is so.
There's no beeping in this.
This motherfucker is so talented. So
right
fucking talented. So fucking talented. This dude holds more talent in his pinky finger than anyone I've ever met. Anyone at anything.
Yeah, I love Andy's. Yeah,
this fucking dude impresses me every single time he does something, and I just want to be this dude's hype man. Like, I wish the next event he gets tagged, like gets invited to, where they fly him out, they can say, "Hey, we need you to bring a mascot." Like, I want to be the guy on the mic that introduces this dude and talks about this dude. And like, so people know who this fucker is. Like, this dude is so talented. He's such a good dude, man. And I appreciate everything he's done for me. He's elevated a lot of stuff for me. He's made my life so much easier, but he's like that brother that I kind of miss. You know what I mean? I don't have any more left. I recently just lost another person that I considered a brother.
Many condolences.
And that one was tough for me. That one,
I checked in on you, man. I was just like,
yeah. And I appreciate that, because this was a tough loss. This was the guy that got me into Jordans. I wasn't even into Jordans. And the month before, I just did a podcast about my boy Mo. I wish I would have went more into depth about how much I love that kid, what he's done, because I might not be here doing this, what I do, if it wasn't for him. Because the first shoe I painted was a Jordan, you know, like, so Andy's kind of in that same space. And I wish I could just show the whole world this dude's this whole dude, like his work, man. He's just so amazing.
Dude,
So
Andy's absolutely amazing. You know, like to go back to when I started this, I started the podcast in 2020 after I listened to that album, and then I was like, you know,
motivated.
I was like, yeah, you know, some people, I always tell people, and I said this in, I think there's a upcoming episode where some people who took the pandemic as like, oh, you know, this is the end all be all right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? Yeah. And then there's some other people who are like, let's play catch up. Like, you know, I put all the stuff that I really wanted to do is on the back burner because I've been working. Now you in the house. Let's figure it out and get it going. And I was one of those people because I was just like, yo, I've always wanted to do this podcast. I came up with this podcast 2 years before the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
My God, just procrastinating.
Yeah. And so
life gets busy,
now
man.
we're here. Yeah, I mean, I'm also just afraid. I was also just afraid, in all honesty, like
a failure.
It just nobody's gonna listen, and now I'm 163 episodes, and nobody's listening.
Shit? Who gives that shit, bro? You know what the crazy thing is, bro? Is like when like you told Andy when he got on, shit popped off for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, bro, is you have to have 163 episodes where you could pop off, because what are people going to go watch when they find out about you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Everyone has that. Everyone has all that before they actually pop off. Like my customs, I had a whole website full of customs before one actually, you know, got me a little bit of clout on the internet. So it's like you just have to go. Like Kanye was doing music way before he became Kanye. You know what I mean? He was producing stuff, and so like. You're on the right path, bro. 163 episodes. You say nobody's watching, but like, bro, you have all kinds of cats coming on your show.
I mean, yeah. Last episode, I had Nick on, which was like an absolute wild get of just being able to talk to him and stuff like that. Like reading his articles back in the day, and now I'm like talking to him, right? Like it's like,
yeah, dude.
It's absolutely wild. So, I mean, look, you know, we've all come a long way. I mean, since you guys episode, I've come a long way in my opinion. So, you know, like it's just wild.
No, you've been grinding.
All of us here right now. It's all about like we do what we do because we enjoy it. Like, and that should be the motivation. Like, it shouldn't be motivation to get huge or to get clout or to get fame or recognition. Just like the only recognition you need is that self-affirmation.
Yeah,
mine's a complete opposite. I've told this to Andy for a long time. Growth for me is stressful. It's too much. Like I said, my last page was over 250,000 followers. You know, back when it was easier to grow. Now the algorithm swap, but it's like for me and my style of work, 250,000 followers, bro. I have a team of 3 right now running my Instagram page, and I'm only at 40K. So I'll probably restart honestly when I get to like 50, 60K. It's too much work.
That's wild. Just keep them.
Just keep doing your keep it, but just keep doing you, man.
Yeah.
The thing is what happens is it's a reverse effect. Like the more people I have in my DMs, the busier I get, and the more people start talking shit. He thinks he's too good. He doesn't reply to me. He doesn't whatever. You know what I mean? He only does famous people stuff. No, I have guys that spend money with me. It's on my VIP list. And them are the dudes that always get first take on anything. They've been rocking me for so long. So I feel bad saying no to the other guys. So I'd rather just not have them in my DM because I don't want to say no to nobody.
Yeah.
If I had the shoes on deck to just send to people, and if I could sell them for $100, if I had the means, if I just had family money, I wouldn't need to make a living, and I would just do this because this is what I love to do.
I got an idea for you. Here you go. This is what you need your team of 3 to do, right?
Let's see.
No, this is a real idea.
I'm tagging them.
Right. This is a real idea. All right. So what you need to do is just have a form on your website with a prepay, right? But you don't charge them. It's just they prepay for the custom, right?
Right.
So then you know the money's for real, right? And then what you do is you set up your Instagram to reply to like JSM custom in a comment, and then immediately whenever they reply with that custom comment, whatever, they'll get served
they ask you like,
the form.
How much for this shoe? How much for this shoe?
So here,
automatically.
all right. So this is all right. So let me just throw a little kink in your chain because this is where it gets tricky. Because it sounds easy when you do it like that. But I've been doing this for almost 20 years. You think I have this figured out by now?
Yeah.
The problem is when you have other people in other countries, their English is not so great, or I have people in my DMs that don't understand shoes as much as others. So when they say what a full custom is, or the half custom, or whatever custom, no matter what you tell them, they still follow it up with a question. Now here's the issue. When someone writes a message to me and they automatically just get a generated message back, the data that we've done, no one replies back to it.
But you don't need it's the link. It'd be like, yo, you want a custom? Click this link. And then they fill out the form. The form will be, they can translate it into whatever language they want because it's going to be on Google Chrome. So it's going to give you the translate. And then you're still going to get questions, obviously, but it'll be easier to handle through email versus a DM.
Then I have Linda doing the emails, and then I have Linda and Tom doing my DMs. But the way that I have it structured now is to where you see the picture on Instagram, and you can go right to my webpage. When people, hey, I want this custom, how much? One of these guys sends them a link right to that custom, says, hey, if you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know. That easy. And that's the easiest it's been so far, just having these guys reply to that. Because the forms, I have other people that do forms, because I was helping out with the Angelus on the Discord with the financing and everything, because everyone always was asking me prices because I've been doing it so long. It just makes more sense to do it just by each person individually and having a link to send them to. Because now I'm just set up, you buy what I design. I really don't do new customs. I'm not doing something specific unless it's for like a company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're going to do 100 pairs. Everything else is, I painted this shoe. I made this custom. It's available on my website. Go and get it.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're waiting like 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah. Because there's one dude making it. You don't have a factory. Like it ain't.
Yeah, I just, and a lot of guys start to get a little bit, I think I have a guy in my DMs now, Ryan, I apologize. Your shoe will be sent out this week. I'm just behind, man.
He's angry listening. He's angry listening to this episode right now.
The thing that gets hard is like, you have to understand, I have to have time for new designs. You have to have time off for my family. You have to, and then when you lose people, you know what I mean? I lost a brother to me. Like, bro, I didn't work for 5 days. I never go 5 days without working.
Yeah.
Never. The day that I lost an actual blood brother when I was 20, I went to work the next day. Like, so them are the things when I tell you your wait 16 weeks out, you don't know if I'm going to get an invitation out to NBA All-Star Weekend. You don't know if I'm going to be offered some gig at Super Bowl on Super Bowl weekend. These are the things I can't account for. I can't predict the future. And this is where I just ask a lot of my clients, I promise you, if I could ever repay you for your patience, it's going to be with like maybe $100 off or something. I will recognize it. And I just ask people to be patient with me, but I just don't, I can't predict them things that are going to be happening. And so sometimes I do get a lot of flack for taking these opportunities that I have. And I sometimes feel guilty.
Every time I've gone over to John's shop, he's always working and he's always working on stuff. And I mean, he's one of the most selfless dudes. So if you think he's lazy or if you think he's just not like he's holding out on you, like he is working hard constantly. I mean, he provides for his family this way. He provides like everything for his family this way. And so seeing him work and the amount of work that he puts into everybody's pair, like it's worth the wait. Like, it is worth the wait. I have a couple of pairs that he's done for me, and I
still have some here,
and it's okay. And I don't bring him up because I know the man's busy. Like I know the man's busy, and things come in, and the same like anytime I have photography stuff, if someone sends me something like is like a favor or a gesture, it's like, I got to take a picture, say thank you, but I got clients that are paying me to do this stuff, and they have deadlines and demands, and sometimes those things take priority. And I mean, John's only one person and he's got hundreds of customs that he's got to crank out. Yeah. And so, I mean, he works harder than anybody I think I've ever met. Every time I FaceTime him, he's sitting at his table, like doing something with some shoes, or he'll like answer and put the phone down because he's got to go do something else in his shop. Like he's working hard. So don't think like if anyone's like upset that your custom ain't coming, it's coming. It's just, there's just one man doing the work of like 10.
It's all handmade. Like you
Yeah.
if you go to get a suit like done for you, it's not going to be the day of. You're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
You know, you just get measured the day of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I could be better on is just kind of managing my time a little bit better. I spread myself really thin. I want to do everything for everyone. And sometimes I do overextend. Like we one of Andy's friends, Down, I just bring him up because this is kind of a situation I've been put in. Like I wanted to help him out. He's a teacher. And, he said, and I respect teachers, especially like what Andy does. Like, you guys are changing and molding the kids of our future. And so, like, I just told him, like, hey, man, I'd love to do a custom for you. But it didn't work out. I couldn't get it done. It's been, I don't know how long it's been now. And he's been upset with me. And I apologize. I really do apologize, because if I had these shoes made somewhere else and they were just sitting here, I would just give them away. Like, it's not. I have bills to pay. My daughter's medicine. I'm not even gonna say how much her medicine is a month. She has Down syndrome. She's autistic. She has she had a hole in her heart. Like, she's got lung disease, heart disease.
Yeah, like, that's a big toll. Big toll.
Yes, and then so I have 3 kids. I got one that's gonna be born in May. Like, I have to work for money still, and until something pops off, I don't. But when it does, I promise I'll remember all you patient people.
You just need OBJ to hit you up with like, all right, give me make this cleat for me. You'll be good. Off to the races.
I just have to make the money. I have to make the money, and so stuff. That stuff. Like Andy said, it's a priority. You got to do what pays the bills first, and I just wish I could give everyone a sneaker for free. I really do, man, but I unfortunately just can't.
Well, speaking of free sneakers, let's talk about some free sneakers I got.
Let's talk about some free sneakers. And it wasn't from me.
It definitely wasn't from me.
So I was blessed. I was blessed by Saucony. I
had the V. I think he's the director of collaborations on an episode of the podcast. Jason Faustino. He hooked me up with a pair of these Omni 9s with the. Got to see the iridescent on that, man.
Yeah, dude, Omni 9s. I need to get me a pair of them. They're stupid clean, man.
Yeah. This shoe, never worn these ever. One of the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned.
Yeah. I've been rocking Saucony since I was a kid. So,
well, I had the Grid 6000,
3D grid,
the 6000, whatever the 6000 is.
Yeah,
Shadow
6,000, 5,000. The Shadow, you got the 5,000, 6,000, the 3D grid. 3D grids are one of my favorite.
Well, I'm pretty sure we all have that one material that would make us buy a shoe, or consider buying a shoe when you walk into a sneaker store. And for me, it's always been 3M, right? So this is 3M.
Yeah.
The soonest I see 3M, I light up. I'm like, give me that. You
know what's crazy is. So, being sponsored by Angelus, I was a product tester. I have access to 3M paint.
That's crazy.
So you can literally paint any shoe.
Wild stuff.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, what was those Jordan? They did like the Jordan 6 and the Jordan 7 and the Jordan 8 that had like the whole 3M upper.
I have they did the 5s. The 5s. They did
the labs, the 3 labs.
The 3 labs, yeah.
The five labs, but they do the 3, the 4, and the 5.
5 labs or something like that, yeah.
But I do have one here. That's the 3M material that ain't nobody got this sneaker.
Nobody
got it. Nobody. No one has a sneaker.
The not Oreo. It's like it's blue though. All right. Yeah, those are crazy.
Only 25 pairs of these exist.
Yeah.
This is the Olympic 6. But this whole upper's 3M.
Oh.
It's a cool shoe. Just happened to be right here now that you're talking about 3M.
I was talking about these reflections of a champion, the 6s, the 7s, and the 8s that they did, the whole upper. They're wild, dude. I got a pair. I remember hitting on a pair, and I was like, ooh, like I like 3M, but that's a lot of 3M on that.
You canceled the order, didn't you?
No, I got them and I sent them back. Like I got them in hand because I needed to make sure I liked them, and then I got them. I was like, ooh, that's a lot.
I have a pair of
those Omni 9s. Those Omni 9s are crazy.
Yeah. I remember when Neymar was a Jordan athlete.
Oh
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
5 lows that he did.
I got the 5
Yeah.
lows. I got the 5
Yeah.
lows. I'm not gonna go grab them. They're kind of beat up, but yeah, I love
That's
those.
awesome.
And then we can talk about the next pair I got since we here. So
I feel like I'm at a birthday
Oh,
party
bro,
and I'm watching
that's
you
amazing.
open up all your presents.
I wasn't able to get the first pair, but
Your boy got the pair that's coming out this year.
Bro, no way.
Yeah, they blessed me.
Skoo.
These
That's
are the
not good. Those are
Claima
clean.
Seat Saucony's 2. I don't know if they're calling them the 2s, but this shoe is absolutely gorgeous. You know,
Because it was free.
Dude.
no man. I'm a big fan of Beema Williams. Like I interviewed him at Complex Con. Like his story and like him choosing to like that's like I love you guys because you guys chose to bet on yourselves, you know, and that's like in your talent, right? And so I was new to that. Like starting this podcast is the only time I've ever done this, right? Everything I've ever done before this is for somebody else or like working under somebody else or somebody asking me like, oh, can you make this poster for me? Whatever, like I'll do it, you know, but I would never put in the time for something for me. Right. And until this podcast, and it's literally everything has been for me. And
selfish. My guy is selfish.
but getting this shoe and like the story behind Beema just being like, you know what, I'm gonna leave these sneaker brands and start my own podcast, learn how to host, become a host. Now I got my own shoe. Like it gives hope for like anybody. Like Andy can get a shoe. I can get a shoe.
Yeah.
You know, you already have your own shoes. So I can't say that for you.
Man,
dude, those are clean.
I'll just make my own shoe. Ain't no one sending me no free shoes. I'll just make my own.
Yeah, you'll make it. You don't need to get a free one.
You don't need no free sneakers.
What? You guys should be send this guy some free sneakers. He'll pay them for you. You wait till J Tips sees one of my customs of his. I'm gonna customize as a J Tips custom. Wait till he sees it. He might send me a pair of shoes because his shoes are sexy, bro.
His shoes are fire.
His shoes are fire. I really want the Saucony Omni 9s.
Those ones are beautiful. I saw he dropped them like a few of them over at like over in Paris for like Fashion Week over there.
So sick.
They're so clean. I love his color palettes. Like they're just the loud, bright colors.
Yeah, his palettes are dope.
Like
super dope.
Yeah, what he did with the Azuras, like his first one that he did, and then following up with the Shadow 2s, like dude's doing work, and I love that he's doing it with Saucony because, you know, like you see, like even Nike's struggling now with. You saw the news that they're doing their cutbacks and stuff and laying some people off. Like everyone used to think you made it when you got a Nike collab, but now like all these people are coming out with collabs with like Asics and Saucony and New Balance and like all these like not as like big businesses, and it's dope to see because like creativity and collaborations like that it's not limited. Just
Saucony would be my number one.
Like, I love Nike. Yeah.
I mean, I love Nike, but they don't need me. I feel like I wouldn't be appreciated. I feel like I was just another guy that did a shoe for him to wear. Like, I feel like when you do something with Saucony, you become family.
Yeah.
And I just love it. And so like, that's what I've always told Andy since day one. If there was one collab that I would love to do, it would be with Saucony. I would. You telling me I could pick any material, I could go up, bro.
Yo, I mean, this is because I don't know if you ever saw Beema talk about like the materials on this shoe. So this is specifically Wolverine suede, like the Wolverine brand. And don't you have the purple pair? I feel like you have the first pair. I got the purple pair.
Yeah, I got the first pair. I love them. Yeah. They're so nice.
So this suede is like, it's one durable, but also it's like soft. If you ever notice it on your pair, but it's the same. It's the same pair of like, the back's got this like, I don't think is this on the first one?
So the first one has it says stuff about Portland because that's where he's at now.
Yeah.
This is the
Portland.
This is
and
the
that one's
NOLA version.
NOLA version because that's where he's from.
Yeah. So I got it's like Claima on one side and then NOLA on the other side.
Yeah.
But
Dude, those are
That's
clean.
sick. Yeah, that's sick. You know, I bought a pair of 3D grits to customize. Let me see right here. And I've been sitting on them. This is how much I don't get to do for myself. But this one right here, I felt was a clean slate to where I could do some crazy stuff with because the palette is just so blank.
Oh, dude,
like I could do.
You can get
some J tips treatment right here. So reverse or that's why I bought this shoe. Was specifically for that reason. Was just to go crazy.
What would be your color? Because like I feel like every collab has like that color palette, right? That like they're like 4 colors that they always pick, you know, and then it goes out. Like Travis Scott, J-Tips has these crazy colors, but they're all still very similar of like pink,
right,
purple, blue, you know. What would your colors
just because it's in right now. Well, colors for me is crazy because first of all, I can't see the dark colors. So going over colors,
that's right.
I literally have to have swabs. So realistically, they'd all be light colors. Everything would have to be a light color.
What colors can you see?
I mean, I can see every color. It's just how dark the shade is, how much pigment's in a color. So when you get to like,
I want the colorblind shoe.
Dark purple.
I want the colorblind shoe, bro.
It's just black,
dude,
bro.
Make it colorblind. That's what you should do.
It's just black.
Triple black.
It's an Air Force One. It's right here. Here's the colorblind shoe. Right this is it.
Man, that's so vibrant. Look at all the crazy colors.
Man, that's crazy.
I picked all these colors. Because they mean something to me. Every single, especially the bottoms.
Dude,
but no, I would go back. I would stay on J Tips with that shoe in mind was his palette. I wanted them brights, and then I wanted to do some gold accents on it to bring out that purple and like I love purple and salmon together. You know what I mean? And then throwing a crazy blue green in there with it. But yeah, I just dude, his palette's so dope. His shoes are so sick. I really dig his vibe.
Andy, what colors would you pick? What's the colors you always tend to go towards?
Man, I'm earth tone guy. Here, let me show you a pair. Since we're on Sauconys, let me grab a pair.
Okay.
Like I love my earth tones, like my dark greens, my browns, my tan.
All my clothes are earth tone. Like everything I wear
are earth tones too, because it goes with everything, right?
Everything.
But like, so I got blessed by Bodega.
Oh yeah, you got the.
To send these shadow twos, man, these things are crazy, and it's not so much the color, but like the hemp material that they use, like
baby.
And it's different weaves too. It's not like the same weave like on the green and up here and here. Like it's all different thicknesses of weaves, and man, and then the thick laces that they came with, dude, they're nutso. And then the gum sole on the bottom. These things are crazy. So thank you, Bodega Saucony, for sending these over. But yeah,
Bodega was like my first hype collab that when they did the cotton candy pack.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, they were so dope. Them pairs were so clean.
Yeah.
So that's dope. Bodega sent you that, bro.
Yeah,
that's crazy. You guys are living my dreams
right
now. You guys are getting all free shoes, and I'm just over here. I don't get nothing. I get free hats and clothes, and
I gave you some hoop shoes, bro.
Because I got nothing but love. Shout out to Feist because Feist did send me these. Shout out to Feist. I did get them for free.
This is the free stuff episode.
Hold on, right here, right here.
What free
these
stuff
ones right here?
Yeah.
Shout out to Feist. Shout out to Feist for the free. They also sent me these. I love you, Feist. That's it. That's all I got. Everything else.
Hey, John. Where are them GT cuts?
Yeah, for real.
Hold on. You're right. The GT cuts. I got these for free. So this shoe right here, I did get for free. GT. My guy gave them to me. My guy Sean. Andy thought I was gonna pull out the red pair that he gave me.
No, that was the ones I was referring to as the PEs that you got, bro.
No, Andy gave me my first. He gave me a pair of the GT cuts because his photography is so dope that Dick's Sporting Goods sent him my size and my son's size, not his own size, but mine and my son's. And no, it's right now, dude. That's honestly my favorite hooping shoe. The Sabrina ones I thought were it. Them things is junk. Sorry, Sabrina, but your shoe for men, grown, heavy, fat guys.
I was telling somebody we was playing ball. And I was telling somebody what you were telling me on that live about the Sabrinas, and they were like, no, I don't have those problems. So I don't know if it's your feet.
Here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. I got good feet, and I balled in a lot of shoes. But I promise you, if you hoop in them, Keontae from the Utah Jazz don't wear them. Jordan Clarkson ain't wearing them no more. Dudes in the NBA are only wearing them 1-2 games and they're getting rid of them.
These are people in his phone, in John's phone. He's like,
these are guys in my phone.
I mean, he complains about not getting free shoes, but he's got NBA players text message him all over the place. So,
for real.
You gotta have one.
But you act like hold on, wait a minute. The text message is, "Hey, are my shoes done?" It's not a, "Hey, what's up, family? What's going on? How you doing?"
I know.
It's like,
hey, bro, hurry up with them shoes.
I leave in 3 hours. Can you drop them off at the facility? That's the kind of text message I get. It ain't a hey, want to come over for Christmas and have turkey dinner with my family? Like, no,
I'm pretty sure the invite is gonna be in there. They'll be like, "Yo, pull up. We got the party going right now."
I got some pretty dope like relationships with some dudes that are definitely like out of my tax bracket first of all, but just like my status of like cool. They invite me to cool stuff, so I will admit, like they make me feel pretty good. I did a private jet. I was invited on a private jet one time.
Never done that. Shit. That's crazy.
Never doing it again, bro. Never doing it again. I will never fly private. But no,
why?
Oh, bro. I like big planes. So when they hit clouds, they just a little bit of, just a little bit of this, not a hole where your drink comes out the cup and hits the ceiling type shit.
Where you fly out the ceiling.
And the first thing I do when I get on a plane, don't even, I'm not even kidding when I say this. When I hop onto Delta, I only fly Delta. If you've seen the CEO, he rocks my customs too. Shout out to my guy. But I get on a plane and I'm looking for kids. I'm like, okay, we got little kids over. Okay, little kid, because I know I'm good. God is not letting this plane go down with babies on board. I'm good. We good. I want all the babies on board.
Damn. I'm about to get on a plane. Don't jinx me.
So no, I probably won't do private anymore because I've been flown out private jets to events where I've done shoes for people and they've invited me to come along and present them and to them and whatnot. And I've done halftime shows. At basketball games and stuff like that. So I've done some pretty cool.
You've sat courtside, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah. I gotta watch some of the greats.
Basketball in the garden, but I've never sat courtside.
Oh, you played, but you never sat. Okay. Yeah. I never played in the garden before. Never played. My thing is like my connection, like with Andy. Andy will be shooting. I did a pair for JC. A pair of them Sabrina ones, and the whole plan was to get Andy into the arena to film, and when we'll make that happen. It just didn't happen at the time we wanted to. But like, my thing is like if I got something on lock, like I'm gonna bless Andy with it. Where vice versa, where he gets all the free stuff, and he's like, "Hey, bro, these are your size, you can have them," And that's why I say like my relationship with Andy is so important to me, is because we always look out for each other. Like any way that I can help him or introduce him to somebody to elevate his situation.
That's what it's all about, man. Community, bro.
So yeah, that's why I appreciate him so much.
Everybody eats. And I feel like he blesses me more than I bless him. I mean, I gave him a pair of GT cut threes. He's blessed me with like relationships with people and like all these things. So like every chance I get, I try to give back as much as I can. But I mean, that's community. That's what it's about. Like, we've said it for a long time. Like everybody can eat at the table. Like you just got to be
enough to go around.
I mean, look, like in the beginning, we talked about, competition and stuff like that. And I think that's always good. But I can always bring like community with competition. Like you can, I want the people around me want to see me do better, because then they'll give me that ammo to be like, all right, cool. I'm looking at them do stuff. And they're telling me like, yo, we can do this together. Like, why are you not doing anything? Like, I want those people in my circle to be like, let's push each other. So, yeah.
Right. You just can't have too many people in that space. That's what I've learned over the years is by spreading myself too thin, is I promise too many things to too many people. And I neglect the guys that are in my circle, and I neglect, my family, my kids, when I'm doing all this stuff. And like, I've seen a podcast where they talk about this when it comes to money. Who was it? Who was it? T-Mac that said it? One of these guys said it. May have been Vince Carter. Maybe it was Vince. I think it was Vince Carter, where they talk about like when he got picked to be on a basketball team, he was like, he would just let him know, I'll let you know, he wouldn't like take the first offer. And everyone kind of thought that he was a dickhead about it. They're like, oh, like this dude just hard to work with. But he's like, he said it best. Like, he's like, I miss my kid's birthday. I miss my wife's birthday. I miss my parents' birthdays. I've missed funerals. I missed, recitals. I missed all this. Somebody has to pay for this.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's got to pay for it. And that's kind of like where I started to learn my value. Was like, sure, I only have 7 days in a week. I can only create so much. I have to provide. So that's when the demand was high. So the pricing started going. Now I charge crazy amounts, and I'm blessed that people pay for my work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because like I have to sacrifice time with my kids, sacrifice everything. You know what I mean? And so that this year was going to be my main focus, was how do I spend more time with my family and not make, not sacrifice too much money. But, and that's just the balance of life.
Yeah,
and I'm still trying
that
to figure it out.
balance.
But that's my goal this year, is to figure that out.
More life, man. More life, more success. In order to get there, you gotta,
Gotta put in the work.
We gotta put in all the work. What about you, Andy? Since we're talking about this year,
things get busy. Man,
Andy's been a very hot commodity lately. Like, I get to see this dude.
Yeah, he took his social media break, and now he's back. So
Dick's Sporting Good got at your boy. I mean, this dude is getting hit up by
Under Armour
in the business. Like, and they're paying him what he's worth. Like, it's to see my man eat.
Dude, it's been crazy.
Amazing.
At what point are you going to be like, all right, school, all right, this is over? Like, have you thought about it?
Talked about it.
Yeah, if I can double what I make as a school teacher, I'm out. But I'm not close to that yet. So
yeah,
we're gonna keep juggling until, I'm gonna keep hustling. I'm gonna keep doing my thing, and but also at the same time, like, man, I love working with kids. I love working in the classroom with my kids, because like, it's fulfilling for me to like take these pictures and, get fulfillment from these companies seeing my work and stuff like that. But I mean, it's more fulfilling for me to see like that excitement on a kid's face when they're like, wow, like I can design something or I can create something. And then like it clicked for them. Like when I was a kid and things started clicking for me, like my creativity, I was like, wow, this is enjoyable. This is fulfilling. Seeing the kid get that, like, there's no better feeling. So doing that, and then like teaching keeps me busy. And then we just wrapped up. I coach 9th grade girls basketball at my team.
I was going to say, he's a basketball coach, undefeated,
baby.
Undefeated. Oh, dude, my girls, we're going to give a short plug for my girls. Like, they balled out this year, and I'm not even going to be humble about it. Like, they kicked the shit out of everybody. The closest game that we had, we won by 21 points. That was the closest game that we had.
Jeez.
Every other game,
you were like, it was gas on the foot on the gas pedal. You were like, let's put him through.
No gas. All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes.
I mean, we would put in, like, we'd play everybody. We'd that, and we'd always say, like, there's just not enough minutes to go around, and we try to get as many of these girls on the court as possible. And I'm just proud. Like, I get a lot of fulfillment out of seeing other people succeed. And that I know, and
deserving, like, people. When I see deserving people,
facts. We'll clarify that. Yeah. Because like seeing my students do well, seeing my girls do well on the court and off the court, and then most importantly, seeing my own kids and my wife do well. Like, those things are priority number one. And then I'm just blessed to be able to establish the relationships that I have with companies to do photography for them. Like Under Armour, Mikkel, like, dude who reached out to me, like, he's wonderful. And I love working with Under Armour, man. Like, I take pictures of, they send me cleats. They've sent me like basketball shoes, lifestyle shoes, everything. And, I've loved working for them, and they appreciate me just as much as I appreciate them. So it's been really fun to do that.
That's dope. I mean, you talked about, seeing kids, create things. So let's talk about
a little segue there.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
You were like, here's the alley.
Here's
the alley off the backboard. But let's talk about, the students working together, and John making it all an actual thing. Because we talked about it a little bit on your first episode of My First Kicks, Andy. We talked about, your work, and we didn't have John there, but now we're both here. Let's talk about the work that you guys put in to make these sneakers actually a real thing, the voting, the ideas, and the winner was...
I'm gonna give John... I'm gonna give John some flowers a little bit on this because like
Do it up.
he doesn't like to talk about himself very much. So like that's what I'm here for. Like he says he's my mascot, I'm gonna be his mascot. I'm gonna cheer him on for a second. But I had like I've been doing this project for a while where kids would design a sneaker and teach them how to do it in Photoshop or Illustrator or whatever. And there was really no like end thing in mind. It's like, cool, you designed it, that looks great. Print it off, hang it in your room. You did something cool. And then like when I met John, we became good friends right away. And I approached him with it and he approached me with it too. We kind of together were like just talking about like that project one day. And he's just like, dude, like, let me make the shoe. And I'm like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, let me make the shoe. I want to bless the winner. I want to bless this kid. And then we kind of came up with the idea of like, okay, we'll do a competition. We'll put it up on social media and let people vote for it. I would provide the shoe. John would provide his services and we would bless this kid with a shoe. And I mean, John has knocked it out of the park these last 2 times that we've done it. And I mean, it's just seeing the reaction on the kid's face when they see that physical shoe, see his beautiful work. It's incredible. Like it's truly incredible. And then this year, the kid who won it compared to last year, John brought out the whole thing, right? He brought out the jazz bear. He brought out swag. We brought like a separate videographer. We did all this thing, pulled out all the stops. And then the kid that we did this year, his name's Roman. His parents are like,
Roman.
When we met up with him, they're like, he was kind of nervous, like, because he saw the jazz bear last year. He saw all this stuff. And he's like, I don't want any of that. And it's like, all right, we don't have to do that. So John and I just met up with Roman. He's a killer skater. Like this kid rips. Like he's good. So we met him up at the skate park by my school. Just John and I delivered the shoe, chatted up with him and his parents, and like, special, man, just seeing this kid get excited about a shoe that he designed and had it.
He looks like a kid that would not get excited about anything.
Yeah.
He's so shy.
Yeah.
This kid is he just seems like the greatest kid. Like he just kind of keeps to himself. I don't know. I just knew that from last year how different this was going to be, because you could tell that he didn't want all the balloons and the flowers and all that stuff. He's just like, yeah, it's cool. I got the shoe. I appreciate it, guys. And like but you could see the excitement in him. If this kid ever got excited about anything in his life, it was this. And
oh yeah,
that's
you should have brought out. You should have brought out at least like a pro skater from Seattle.
Yeah, just hit up like Tony Hawk. And
I was thinking Tony Hawk, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I got his number in my phone. I'll just hit him over there.
Yeah, you got his number.
Just come in for a day. Just come in for a day, bro. No big deal. No, it's I just want, like, Andy, I think we're on the same page when we present the shoe. We just want to make them feel like they accomplished them, like they don't really know what just happened. Like, bro, you now get to make some money off of your design. First of all, we'll teach you some financial skills. You sell this now, you can make a little bit of money. You can be a designer. You can go to school for this stuff. Like, this is where it starts. Like, if your dreams are so reachable and obtainable that you're reaching every goal, you're not setting the right goals.
Yeah.
If these kids don't think that they can enter a sneaker contest and win, then we're failing as parents, as teachers, as role models, that these kids can't dream that big. Like, and so what Andy's doing is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
God, because you know me, everything I try to do is with kids, but what Andy does, that's a whole nother special person. Like, God, I recommend, I don't know, bro. I don't even know how to put into words. I just appreciate what you do for kids, man. Just real talk. Like, all my kids' teachers, everyone that's ever been an influence in my kid's life, I appreciate that. So to have a teacher like, I wish I would have had teachers like Andy. I might have finished school. I might have wanted to go to school. You know what I mean?
I was just, no, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I don't, and I tell my kids this all the time. It's like, I don't expect you to remember anything that you learned in my class. I just expect you to remember like the confidence that you gained, like that you could do something. And like, because confidence, you can't teach that. Like, once you have confidence and you trust in yourself and what you're capable of doing, like, nothing's gonna stop you. And this sneaker design competition, I think, is great, because I try to like hype these kids up too, because you know, I put them up on my Instagram, thousands of people vote, thousands of people see these, and, you know, thousands, tens of thousands of people loved Roman's design. Like, it wasn't just something that he thought was cool. It resonated with a bunch of people. And, you know, I try to help him recognize
Roman's
that, like,
was the
Mac Miller.
The Mac Miller
Mac
dunk.
Miller
swimming pools.
The divine feminine was the album. And it's not even one of his most like recognizable albums. Mm-hmm. So like that's what I thought was sick about it is like, so first of all, I love Mac. And then second of all, like he pulls like a Mac Miller reference from an album that's not his most popular. Like this kid gets Mac Miller, but then for so many people to like resonate with that as well. Yeah, dude, I think that was special.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that's absolutely wild. Just being able to instill confidence now in this day and age where I feel like a lot of content it's built around pushing people down, you know, like as soon as you scroll, it's always a ton of just like, you ain't like this or you ain't like that. And, or, you know, being an individual is it's like an experience. Like growing up and learning to become an individual is such a lost art now that now it's looked as weird, right? Yeah. I mean, we go back to, you know, Andy's comments, right? He was being himself, being an individual. And now people are like, oh, you don't like the stuff that we all like you're not conditioned like us. Like what's going on here?
The world of social media tries to show like what everybody should be interested or what everybody should be doing to be popular, to be cool, or to be appreciated, to be validated. You don't have to do that. Social media is a lie in that respect. Be yourself, like, because when you're yourself and you buy in and trust who you are as like an individual, as these kids like buy into who they are and trust themselves, like they're going to do some dope things in life. And like the more you like get away from like what everybody wants you to do versus what you really want to do, then you're gonna do some cool stuff with your life.
Yeah. There's just so many people that wake up miserable, that just want to be right, just shit on someone just because it's easy. They can get on their phone, say something rude, makes them feel better, and then they wash their hands with it and drive to work or whatever. They really don't really think about what they're doing. Like Charlie B. Charlie B was the first winner. The internet was so cruel with Charlie. They were so cruel. I could not wrap my head around some of the things that were being said about Charlie because just of a shoe that he designed. Yeah. They didn't know him. And I get some of them didn't know it was by a 14-year-old kid, but there was people that knew it was a 14-year-old kid that were just, they shouldn't be around kids. First of all, they should be on some kind of list where you can't go 50 feet near a school. But that's the only thing that scares me about the stuff with kids is because the exposure they get on Andy's page. He gets exposure of hundreds of thousands of people. And there's just so many miserable fucks out there. And they just say some shit they can't take back. And that was one thing I was worried about. I was like, oh, you know what? At the end of the day, who cares, man? Yeah. Who cares? You did something, and Charlie B sold shoes. You know what I mean? Like, it worked out the way we wanted it to, but then China picked it up. And started making reps of his custom.
Really? I didn't know that. So, that's wild. Yeah.
So that hurt sales because you could go buy it for $125, you know? And so, but that was cool that they did that. They let you know that, I mean, that's affirmation right there. Like, hey, you did something cool. If China wants to pick it up and make some money off of it, that's pretty dope. So,
I mean, you talk about like when Nice Kicks reposted it, like that comment section.
That comment section, dude. Some of those bigger sneaker pages, I don't know. I feel like
they were coming at Andy, telling Andy, how about teaching originality? Yeah. And the thing is when you teach your kids to think outside of the box, you can't put them in a box. So we and this was new, right? This was the first year all of us have been combined into this. Andy's been doing it for several years, but with me, it was different. So you can't just tell them rules and then tell them to explain, think outside the box. You just give them free range and see where it goes. We learn from it.
Yeah. Like I told the kid, we did. Last year with Charlie, like I told him, was like, make your dream shoe, make whatever you want. And this year I tweaked it just a little bit. I said, make your dream shoe, but I want your shoe to tell a story. I want it to connect to something. And then I got a lot of good stuff this year. Not that I didn't have a lot of good stuff last year. But we learn from it. I mean,
Mhm.
that's part of being a teacher. Like being a teacher, you ain't gonna know everything. Like I didn't know everything my
Learning
first day
yourself.
walking into the classroom. Like I'm learning myself. And so
Mhm.
yeah, I
I
just
mean,
want to.
the difference is I mean, if you treat it as like I'm gonna be a sponge about it, right? Like you can
Yes.
go like treating it as like going forward instead of being like, oh, I didn't learn, I don't know this stuff, I'm not gonna learn. Like I'm
Right.
a way above my head on this, right? Instead of being like, that and that train of thought, it's always better to just be like, okay, if I'm receptive about what's going on, I can change. I have more chances to change it. It doesn't have to
Right.
stop here. And,
No.
you don't need to be paralyzed
and
by
like
like your first experience about it.
Yeah, and like, people talking crap saying that this kid designed a shoe like an off-white custom mold that's been done before. It's like I ain't never seen anyone do a 3 like that. Like Charlie did his thing on that, and I thought it turned out beautiful. And that coming
the
from
crazy
a
thing
14-year-old
is
kid, like
the
awesome.
crazy thing for me that was hard to wrap my mind around is there was a bunch of grown ass dudes in the comment section saying that he copied Virgil's style.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Virgil personally, but I know enough about him. If he would have seen this whole thing, he would have reposted. He would have
You would have
reposted
loved
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Because let's not forget that that's exactly what even Virgil himself has been guilty of this, of taking something from somebody, even a kid, a 15-year-old kid, and made it into something. That's what inspiration is. Inspiration can come from anything and everything, And when you have a 14-year-old kid that hasn't designed a shoe before, what do you expect?
Yeah, he's gonna pull from what he thinks is cool to him.
What
are you going to expect from this kid?
Yeah.
And I bet if he would have done another year, he would have gotten better. He would have thought a little bit broader. He would have thought a little bit more could be done. So you have people here defending Virgil, acting like someone stole money out of Virgil's pocket. And I'm sitting here thinking in my head, like, Virgil would have loved this. He would have shared this. Are you kidding me? Like,
Virgil
he has a whole
posted other
website
people's
called
customs.
Yeah.
He has
exactly.
he has a whole website of free game teaching people how to do things that he does.
I downloaded all of his stuff and have it in my Google Drive. I share that with my students. I'm like, here's his design process. Here's how he did stuff. Like he was always about. You saw when he came out with the the lot 50 dunks, like that was just a blank canvas for people to do what they wanted with any of those. And he was reposting like people's sick customs of those all the time. He loved when people modified his work and took inspiration from his work and made it their own. And I feel like that's what Charlie did with his shoe is he took inspiration from the stuff that Virgil did and he made it his own. He did something that he was proud of. And like, I don't know why people like to knock that. I mean, we kind of talked about that at the beginning, but he did an amazing job. Like, love it. He came in like, it was earlier this year. Charlie came back because he's in high school now. He's not in middle school. He came back and like he was wearing his shoes just to come by and say what's up. And
he was showing it off. He was like, "Yo,
so sick."
I was like, "I'm the first one."
Them. And like Charlie's kind of a shy kid too. He's kind of a shy kid too. So he's just coming in. You could tell he was smiling. He was excited. He didn't really know what to say. I'm just like, you just coming in here to flex on me, Charlie. Like I see you, buddy. Like I love it, man.
And then with Charlie, it was what was so special with Charlie is that, his mom was fighting cancer during all this and that he won and she was there. And I've had a lot of experience with cancer. I've seen it just deteriorate my family. So to go there and see the Jazz Bear show up, the camera crew, me, Andy, all his friends, and his mom's out there. She's got her little bandana on covering her head from the chemo. She's lost her hair. For 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, she forgot about all of that. She got put in a space shuttle. Just like when Kanye talks about taking a space shuttle. She was in a space shuttle for 10 minutes and was off this planet because she was just watching her son get his flowers. To me, that was the most important thing of the whole event. Just when they're talking, I'm watching mom. And she's just ear to ear with a grin that gold couldn't buy, and I'm just looking at her and I'm looking at him and God, it was such a special moment that he created that moment for her. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, dude. That's like, and we've talked about it too. Like it's bigger than sneakers, man. Like that's the beautiful thing about it is like sneakers, like for me, that's how I connect with a lot of my students at school. And then to like do the competition, and that was cool. But then to do it and bring John on board took it like to another level of connection with these people. And then the way that we're able to give it to these kids and see their family and everybody just like celebrate them has nothing to do with us. We just, provide them the opportunity, but then it's all about them and seeing these kids just beam with confidence, seeing their parents like super proud of them for what they've been able to design and do. Like, it doesn't get much better than that.
Nah, man. Beautiful.
When you got a parent over here talking about Susie won the spelling bee and Charlie's dad stands up and says, my son won the sneaker competition. Okay? What? Mic drop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Super.
At the barbecue with the flex.
Even with like Roman. Like Roman's this skater. Like he's a good little skater. And we're like, yeah, you can skate these. You can do whatever you want to these. He's like, no, I'm not going to skate these. Like, I'm gonna keep
like,
these
I'm gonna
special.
wear them to
like,
a special event. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's so cool just to see their like just how much they cherish what they were able to accomplish, and just to instill with these kids just confidence. Like they've always had it, but then like to see their confidence rewarded with something like this is awesome.
That was cool for sure.
We as the OGs in the sneaker game definitely have to have to help these kids, the younger kids, learn about the actual confidence building that comes with being into sneakers and being into sneaker culture. And so
Black Cement.
I was waiting for you to bring that up.
I was waiting for that too.
As soon as Haas said OGs, I was waiting for John to come back with that.
All I'm saying is if you're gonna learn, you might as well learn the right way. And I take that upon myself. I let these kids down. That's why people run around wearing reps and calling everything breads, is because us at one point in time we were holding all the information in. We weren't teaching these kids, so they had to go learn off the internet.
But I mean, like even that, it's like even the term sneakerhead has been so watered down now.
I hate it. I hate that term.
Like those videos that trend. It's like, we do this.
I'm a sneakerhead.
We do this. We're sneakerheads. It's like, I don't do any of that stuff, but I'm a sneakerhead. Like, come on.
If you made a video with that noise, I'm taking you out of my contacts. Like,
damn.
Just so you guys know.
Jordan Clarkson tomorrow.
Of course. We're sneakerheads. I'm like, no one's ever called us sneakerheads.
Listen, I thought about making that video, so I'm gonna let you know. I'll let you know before. I'll send it to you first for approval.
It's just that term. You know what's crazy about the term? Like I did that video about the pandas on my TikTok, right?
Right, yeah.
About all the hate, and I got into an argument with Ellie. Ellie, I love you. You're amazing. But I got in an argument with a mom, and she went fucking crazy on me. She went batshit, stage 5. And then it dawned on me, like, okay, maybe I'm wording this stuff wrong. It's not everyone hates the pandas. Like, it's not. What we hate is the people that are hyping the pandas up. You got basketball mom that owns one pair of sneakers talking about how dope her pandas are. You got this guy that's never bought any sneakers in his whole life. Someone gifted this guy's over here. Pandas are the hottest shoe in the world. Like, and that's why I think we hate the pandas, or whoever hates the pandas. Not the shoe.
I just think we see it too much, right? If we see a shoe, too much of a shoe, everybody, like when I go onto a train, right? I say it's like 6 people minimum with pandas on, right?
Here's the thing: if I see 6 people with white cements on, I'm not hating the white cement. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite threes.
If I have it on, I'm taking the train back. I'm going back home. I'm changing.
All I'm saying is, if there's 10 dudes wearing this in the room, it's not going to make me like the shoe any less.
Then if there's 10 people wearing it in the room, you're at SneakerCon or something. Like you're at a place where just sneaker convention.
I've never been one to run away from a shoe that's been overdone. It's just, the pandas are just the pandas. But my point was, it's just the people. It's the people.
Yeah, they make the negative connotation around it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's because they're like, oh, well, like pandas are the sneaker for non-sneakerheads. Like that's what people say.
That's very true. I agree with that.
Cool, maybe
I agree with that.
maybe your first sneaker that got you into sneakers, maybe it was a Panda. Who cares?
I can't wait to watch them videos in 10 years from now when people are like, Panda got me.
When I'm still doing this podcast, episode 1000, somebody's like, I'm gonna let you know my first kicks were a pair of Pandas, and I'll be like,
I'm calling my guy right now, JSM.
And
You gotta get it out there.
Man, yo, thank you guys for jumping on. Yo, first off, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. I started this and hit you guys up, and you guys were so cool. We still talk to this day, and I just wanted to let you know I'm very appreciative of just being able to talk to you and be friends with you guys. But for everybody who doesn't know, where can everybody find you? First off, Andy, where can everybody find you, Andy?
You can find me on Instagram. I don't mess with TikTok that much. I'm trying to do pictures on there, but yeah, we'll see how long that goes. But find me on Instagram, AD Sneaks.
John?
You just type in JSM 801 anywhere and you'll find me.
Yo.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
All that, everywhere. This man's everywhere. And you can find me at Who Is Haas on social media. Follow the podcast on My First Kicks Pod. Follow the podcast on TikTok at My First Kicks. And then if you're on YouTube and you got to the end of this episode and didn't realize you can watch this, go to YouTube, look up My First Kicks Pod, or look in the link tree in the description. You also will find everybody's info in the description of this podcast. And for everybody out there listening, you know what we say each week: wear your kicks. Peace.